हरदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तों की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री कृष्ण जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगामय यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि वो। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Guru and Gauranga Gopal Jai. ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधनाम नमस्ते सारस्वत देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे विशेष शून्यवाद पंचांश गुरुमंच पर जाने। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टाप्रयेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Reading from this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sannyas Leela. Reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya Kanda, Part 3, chapter especially. We'll pick up the chapter where Lord takes sannyas and gives beautiful instructions. So captivating, his beauty and everything described. Chapter title, Lord's pastime of accepting sannyas. This chapter describes, this is a commentary by Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Goswami Prabhupada. This chapter describes even Mahaprabhu's disclosure to Nityananda of his desire to accept sannyas from Sri Kesava Bharati and his instruction to inform 5 other persons headed by Mother Sachi. The Lord's engagement the entire day before taking sannyas in the ecstasy of Kirtan with the devotees, his instruction to everyone to worship Krishna, his order to Mother Sachi to cook a preparation with the bottle gourd given by Sridhara, Sridhar, and some milk given by one fortunate person, and is eating that preparation. Sachi Mata sitting at the doorway prior to the Lord's departure from home. The Lord's solacing of Mother Sachi and leaving home after taking dust from her feet. Sachi Mata's state of inertia, the devotees crying on hearing about the Lord's departure. The atheistic blasphemers' lamentation, the Lord's imparting the sannyas mantra into Kesava Bharati's ear, and Kesava Bharati is awarding the Lord his sannyas name. Before accepting sannyas, Sri Sri Gaurahari called Sri Nityananda Prabhu to a solitary place and informed him that he would take sannyas from Kesava Bharati. He also ordered Nityananda to inform 5 other persons headed by Sachi Mata. The day before taking sannyas, the Lord spent the entire day with everyone in the ecstasy of Sankirtan. After giving them the remnants of his flower garland, he instructed them to constantly chant the names of Krishna and worship Krishna. This would greatly please him. After instructing everyone in this way, the Lord returned home. Shortly thereafter, Sridhara came there with a lav or a bottle gourd in his hand, Loki. The Lord, desiring to eat the item offered by his devotee, ordered his mother to cook it. At that time, one fortunate person gave some milk to the Lord, who then instructed his mother to cook a preparation with the bottle gourd and milk. In great pleasure, Mother Sachi cooked that preparation. After sending everyone home, the Lord took his meal and then rested for a while in Yoga Nidra or mystic sleep. Gadadhar and Haridas took rest by his side. Mother Sachi, however, was unable to sleep. She cried continuously, knowing what is going to happen next day before the next day sun arises. When Mahaprabhu realized that less than 2 hours of the night remained and prepared to leave home, Gadadhar expressed his desire to accompany him, but the Lord told him that he would go alone. Mother Sachi understood that the time for the Lord's departure had come and sat down in the doorway. Sri Gaura Sundara solaced Mother Sachi in various ways and then departed after taking the dust from her feet. Mother Sachi remained sitting there in a state of inertia. And when the devotees came to offer obeisances to the Lord in the morning, they found Mother Sachi still sitting in the doorway, as per Srivas Thakur was the first person. When Srivas asked why she was sitting there like that, Mother Sachi could not reply and simply shed tears. Eventually, she said with indifference that the devotees were eligible for Vishnu's items, so they could take whatever they wanted, and she would go wherever she pleased. On hearing her words and realizing that the Lord had left home, the devotees fell unconscious to the ground. After crying for some time, the devotees sat down around Mother Sachi. News that the Lord had left home spread throughout Nadia. When the blasphemous atheists heard this news, even they began to cry and repent that they had failed previously to recognize the Lord. After crossing the Ganga, Sriman Mahaprabhu went to Katakanagara, Katwa. Those Chaitanya Math is there now, close to, this is from, I think, 100 miles or so from our Siddha Mayapur, this Katwa, while going to Ekachakradam. So you can visit this place. Those who were instructed to join him also came one by one and met him there. As the Lord approached, Keshav Bharati immediately stood up with reverence on seeing the effulgence of the Lord's body. The Lord then offered prayers to Keshav Bharati and asked him for his mercy. Mukunda and the other devotees began to perform kirtan. The Lord danced in ecstasy. Many people came there and became struck with wonder on seeing the Lord's beauty. When Keshav Bharati saw the Lord's devotional mood, he noted that he was the Supreme Lord and spiritual master of the entire world, and that he had descended for the purpose of instructing people. Chandrasekhara Acharya engaged in performing the required rituals according to the regulation. When the barber sat down to shave Lord's head, he began to cry. The devotees headed by Nityananda also began to cry. And the demigods who remained unseen also began to shed tears. When at the end of the day, the head shaving was somehow completed, Gaurasundara, the instructing spiritual master of all, pretentiously whispered the sannyasa mantra into the ear of Keshav Bharati and asked him whether it was a proper sannyasa mantra. On the order of the Lord, Keshav Bharati then worshipped that same mantra into the Lord's ear. The Lord, extraordinarily attractive when he was dressed in a saffron cloth, and Keshav Bharati desired to give the Lord his sannyas name. Suddha Saraswati appeared on his tongue and said that since the Lord was bringing the people of the world back to Chaitanya or consciousness by preaching Krishna Kirtan, his name was Sri Krishna Chaitanya. On hearing this, the vibration of Jai Jai arose to the four directions, and a shower of flowers fell from the sky. I'll chant first 2-3 verses and we'll try to understand. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Verse number 1. Jaya Jaya Sri Gauranga Vishnu Priya Nata Jiva Gana Prati Kara Subha Drushti Pata. All glories to Sri Gauranga, the Lord of Vishnu Priya. Please bestow your auspicious glance on the living entities. Yei Matta Achena Thakura Vishwambara Sankirtana Ananda Karena Nirantara. In this way, Sri Vishwambara continuously passed his time in the ecstasy of Sankirtan. This is day before the sannyas. Swechamaya Maheswara Katane Ki Kare Yeswarera Marma Keha Buji Haite Na Pare. No one could understand the activities of the Supreme Lord, who is the fully independent Lord of all. Niravadi Parananda Sankirtana Range Harishe Takena Sarva Vaishnavera Sanghe. The Lord always enjoyed transcendental happiness while performing Kirtan with his devotees. Paranande Vihpala Sakala Bhakta Gana Pasari Rahila Save Prabhura Gamana. All the devotees were so overwhelmed in transcendental ecstasy that they forgot that the Lord was going to leave. Sarva Veda Bhavena Yei Prabhura Deketi Krida Kara Bhakta Gana Sei Prabhu Sahite. The devotees enjoyed pastimes with the Supreme Lord, whom the Vedas personified desired to see. यही दिना चलीबे प्रभु संन्यास करीते नित्यानंद स्थाने ताहा कहिले निब्रुते. On the day the Lord was going to leave home to take sannyas, he privately spoke to Nityananda. सुनो सुनो नित्यानंद स्वरूप गोसानी यही कथा बांगी बे सबे पांच जना तानी. O Nityananda Swarup, please listen. You should tell only 5 persons what I am about to say. यही संक्रमण उत्तरायणे दिवसे निश्चय चलीवे अमी करीते संन्यास. On the coming Makara Sankranti day, January 14 or 15, I will certainly leave home and take sannyas. Try to understand, then we'll read maybe a little more depending on the time. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panghum Langayate Girim Yat Krupatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Denatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Krupa Sindhubhaya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Ananta Kodi Vaishnavanda Ki Jai. Namacharya Das Thakur Ki Jai. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं. रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you all very much for joining. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here in this chapter, as we are reading, accepting sannyas. Before this pastime happened, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed various pastimes. Chaitanya Mangal, Lochan Das Thakur is describing here, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur is describing. He went to Chandrasekhara Acharya's house. As you can see that Lord is telling Nityananda Prabhu, please tell only confidentially 5 devotees. One is Mukunda, who is going to sing so during the part of sannyas, whose son is Raghunandan Das Thakur. So that famous devotee. Lord ate laddus, so that's Mukunda. His father is Mukunda. And then the other one is Chandrasekhara Acharya, who's going to perform the rituals of the sannyas ceremony, the puja and everything. And then Gadadhar Pandit, Gadadhar is the third one. And then Sachi Mata has been told. And then one other person, Brahmananda Bharati, so who is God brother. These 5 personalities have been told. So before that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, few days before, is performing. He took the role of Durga Devi. Before that, he took the role of a gopi, beautifully dressed. Nobody could understand such a beauty, extraordinary beauty. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is very beautiful. आजानुलंबित भुजो कनकावदातो संकीर्तनैकपितरो कमलायतक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो युगधर्मपाल. So very sweet to look at and very beautiful. आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाव दिव्य छवि सुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो. So beautifully glories are being described. So here he dressed as gopi. You can imagine what will happen, just like Lord Krishna is taking Mohini Murti. Everybody was captivated. Sachi Mata was looking, who is this? Is he my son? And then he suddenly changed into Lakshmi Devi. From the gopi, then he changed the form as Lakshmi Devi. Then further he changed further as Durga Devi. He changed to another beautiful form of Chandi and Durga Devi. And everybody started seeing them. So captivated and attracted. And then they were performing Sankirtan. During the Sankirtan, Lord was displaying all these various forms as per the goddess Durga. Let me take the role of my Adya Shakti. So Lord describes that. So let me take the role of Adya Shakti. And then, so after this pastime, then Lord goes to the different devotees' house. Especially Suklambar Brahmachari, on the way he meets, he begs, please give me what you are, what you have in your bowl. I want to eat what is cooked by you. So then Suklambar Brahmachari, have nothing. I have begged. This food is not for you. So please don't ask me like this. I can't cook. I'm not qualified to cook. Neither I have the proper ingredients to offer. So then still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begs again and again. Then he was bewildered what to do. Then he goes and asks the devotee, what should I do in this case? So Lord is asking, he wants to come to my home and eat. What should I do? Then Suklambar Brahmachari has been told by the devotees, all you have to do is simply cook and don't touch any item. You don't touch so with your hands. You just put everything and keep it at a distance. You boil the rice and you pray sincerely, then everything will manifest, everything will come out properly. Then that's what he did. He washed the rice and he put on and he prayed. And then Lakshmi Devi herself made everything so tasty and beautiful. And then Lord came that day and then personally saw. But he cooked, cooked the rice and then he boiled the banana flour, which in Bengal is pretty common. So it's called mocha, they call. We offered in Nityantra today. We should offer Gaurpur today because these are the special items. It has a special way to make it. We have to know how to remove those things inside it, otherwise it becomes so bitter if you don't know how to make it. So, Suklamar Brahmachari put in the boiling water this banana flour, and then he cooked rice separately without touching it, and then he prayed to the Lord, and then by the mercy of Lakshmi Devi, everything became so beautiful. Then Lord personally came there for lunchtime, and then he saw it, and he was glorifying Suklamar. I never ate any rice like this, and he personally offered it to Lord Vishnu, and then he took the remnants, and then after Lord taking the remnants and everybody plundered the remnants of Lord's Mahaprasad, and devotees shared in ecstasy, sharing. After that, Lord went to another devotee's house. He gave his full mercy to a great devotee called Vijay Das. His name is Vijay Das. Even now we have, I think, name Vijay Das. I think proper disciple, senior devotee, great book distributor, Vijay Das. So Lord has given his mercy. He used to do copying the books. He used to write. Nowadays we have typewriter and many things, but those days there used to be a specific category or position or a job of devotees who simply copies from the talapatra, from the leaves, whatever it is written, copy and prepare the book, personally write. That's how they used to do. So Vijay Das is one of them. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave his blessings so that his hand became a golden hand. He appeared to him and showed his beautiful form. Then he was completely, for 7 days, he became inert completely. He couldn't speak and he was completely in an ecstatic stage of consciousness. And then he couldn't reveal. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu covered his mouth and told not to disclose to anybody. After that incident happened, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what has happened to Vijay here? So he was not speaking, he was behaving weirdly. I think it is because of Ganga, his attachment to Ganga, because he was a great devotee of Ganga, very close to, used to live close to Ganga, used to worship Ganga like Kolvej Taylor used to do. So it might be because of that. So Lord wanted to say all these things. He doesn't want any glorification. Then Vijay Das, so then devotees understood. Vijay Das was inundated with ecstatic love. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on further, and then he met Nityananda Prabhu. So no, before that, the pastime that he was chanting one day, Gopi Gopi. He was completely in intense separation from Lord Krishna. He was chanting Gopi Gopi, and then the students, only my Pandit, his students came and Then they are, why are you chanting Gopi, Gopi? You should chant, you are a Brahmana's son, you are a Brahmana, you should chant Lord Krishna's holy names and Krishna's names. Why are you chanting Gopi, Gopi? What will you get by simply chanting Gopi, Gopi? This is not authorized. So they are talking to him like that. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became so angry and upset, he took a stick and ran behind them. And then they ran in fear. And then they told all other students, told, see what this Brahmana boy, this Brahmana is doing. He doesn't have any fear. He's taking a stick. And all I asked is about Gopi, Gopi, why is he chanting? And rather, not changing it, instead of chanting Krishna's names, he started arguing and he started fighting, taking a stick and running, trying to beat me. He doesn't have any fear of beating a Brahmana. So this is what he's doing. If he thinks he's Jagannath Mishra's son, he can do anything he likes. So in this way, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as this was going on the other side, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uh, immediately went into deep consciousness. This is what I didn't expect. I have come to deliver the whole world. Now I see opposite thing is happening. Criticism is happening. And now how will they be delivered? They are engaged in more material bondage. But this is not the purpose. I have come here. So I should do something about it. Then immediately he desired to manifest his sannyas lila to distribute this Krishna consciousness. Then immediately he called out to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. He personally met Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and then he told, confidentially shared that I'm going to leave home very soon. So please tell these 5 devotees confidentially, don't share with anybody else. Mother Sachi, Mukunda, Gadadhar, Chandrasekhar Acharya, Brahmananda Bharati, and that's it. So then, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then as we read, in the meantime, as the next day, midnight, then he performed day before a great Sankirtan, chanting the holy name. He decorated the devotees with garlands and the sandalwood pulp and everything, and then he performed the Sankirtan with all the devotees. And then that night, it's already been revealed to Sachimata and others. They were in complete distress. They begged. Gadadhar wanted to go with the Lord. So I cannot be separated from you. I want to come with you. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want to go. They want to go alone. Nityananda Prabhu also begged. You don't need to do that. You can distribute your Krishna consciousness without taking sannyas. Many different ways. Everybody forbade the Lord. But Nityananda said, what can I do? You are independent Lord. You can do anything. Who can stop you? So you are the master. So you are the Lord. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't utter a single word. Then he gave a coded language that I have come to this and distribute this medicine, which supposed to reduce the mucus, but now rather than reducing the mucus, uh, generally we take different bitter medicines to remove the mucus, but rather is giving the coded language. Rather than decreasing the mucus, it's increasing. That means it's telling indirectly, instead of delivering people, I'm increasing the material bondage for them. So this is not the purpose I have come. So he gave a coded language to Nityananda Prabhu. And this is in the previous chapter, where he is describing this. The verses. Yeah. One day Mahaprabhu was sitting in the midst of his associate. Ekadina Mahaprabhu Aichena Vasiya Chaturdike Sakala Parshada Gana Laya. Suddenly he spoke something strange, which no one could understand. They were all struck with wonder. Eka Vakya Adbhuta Balila Achambita Keha Na Bujihe Artha Sabe Chamakita. Karila Pippala Kanda Kapa Nivarite. Volatiya Aro Kapa Badila Dekete. I made the medicine Pippali Kanda to clear excess mucus. But instead of clearing the mucus in the body, it created more. I made an attempt to preach to the suffering living entities of this world a truth that has never before been revealed. But rather than accepting this, they took the heavy burden of offense on their shoulders. I want to preach for the eternal benefit of the residents of Nadia, but they have not understood my intention and seem to have become bewildered. So they are opposing the preaching of pure devotion service. The Vedic literature prescribes the medicine of Pippali Kanda to cure a person who is afflicted by excessive mucus. But rather than curing the disease, the medicine has simply increased the mucus. The materialistic people of the world worship imaginary gods to increase their sense gratification. They do not perform any activities for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, but simply remain busy gratifying their own senses. They consider sense gratification as the goal of life and do not inquire about the rarely attaining loving devotion service of Krishna. After saying this, the Lord uh, of all laughed loudly. The devotees could not understand why he was laughing and became anxious. Nityananda understood the Lord's plan. He understood the Lord will soon leave home. Lord Nityananda became absorbed in lamentation as he realized that the Lord would certainly take sannyas. Ye sundara krishnera haive antardhana duke nityanandera vikala kaila pran. And this way, Lord tells and reveals to Nityananda Prabhu this confidential thing. And then in the midnight, as Sachi Mata is sitting on the doorway, she couldn't sleep as she heard the news. Nityananda Prabhu, same thing, everybody is complete in distress and great separation. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't pay any heed and he left. So he left to Katwa to where to meet Keshav Bharati, and next day the sannyas ceremony. Um, then Sachi Mata asked, is this the way? Why you need to leave your only mother alone and go and take sannyas? You can distribute your Krishna consciousness without it. Why do you need to do that? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started instructing. You are my mother for so long, so many times. You are my mother as a Prishni. You are my mother in the heavenly planet Aditi and Vaman Dev. You are my mother as a Devahuti. So I was born as a son, Kapila. So many times. You are the Kaushalya. Ramalila. So many times you have been my mother. So now I have to distribute this Krishna consciousness to the whole world. So otherwise, how? Why? I have come appeared specifically, and still don't think that I will be away from you. Rather, you will be my mother in two different ways. I will be appearing in two different incarnations, one as a holy name, one as a deity. So you will become the tongue as a mother. As for the holy name. So for the deity also he says something. So in these two different ways, you will be still my mother. You can still serve me. And then instructs and he quickly walks off. So to Katwa the next day. Before that, where we read that further. In this way, devotees cried among themselves the feeling of separation. Where will the Lord go after taking sannyas? Where will we go to see him? If he takes sannyas, he will not return to the village. Who knows such direction? He will decide to go. As the devotees continuously thought in this way, they lost all appetite for food and water. The Lord could not tolerate his servant distress, so he pleasingly solaced everyone. The Lord said, Why are you all worried? Wherever you are, I am always there. You're all thinking that I will leave you after taking sannyas. Do not ever think like this. I will never leave you. You are my constant associates, birth after birth. Do not think that you are together only in this birth. As you are always enjoying happiness of Sankirtan with me in this birth, you're all my associates in my various incarnations in different yuga. Now is going to tell, which I described. In this way, I will incarnate in the two other forms of Kirtan and Ananda. Ye mata aro ache dui avatar. Kirtana Ananda Rupe Haive Amar. Sri Gaurasundara said, like this I will incarnate two more times. I incarnate along with the Kirtan of the Lord's holy names and incarnate in the Ananda form of deity to display my Sachidananda Vigraha to those who worship me. So on the pretext that Sri Gaurasundara has two other incarnations, envious atheistic people established wretched people as incarnations of the Lord, Sri Gaurasundara, rather than accept the deity form of Sri Gaurasundara. Since pure devotees of the Lord have accepted the two incarnations of the Lord Sri Gaurasundara as Avesh avatars, or empowered incarnation, simple people attempt to apply hypotheses on living entities who are forced to accept the fruits of their karma, who daily pass through these three statuses of life. Such people cannot accept that the deity and the holy name are the two forms of the Lord. Since such Nava Gauranga philosophy has appeared in various places, the path of spiritual life has become greatly obstructed and damaged. With those two incarnations, you will always joyfully perform kirtan in my association. My sannyas is meant to teach people, so you should all give up your anxiety. After speaking in this way, the Lord repeatedly embraced everyone with love. After the devotees became somewhat pacified by the Lord's word, the Lord returned to his home. As the news spread from a person to person, eventually reached Sachi, she became practically lifeless. On hearing that the Lord would take sannyas, Sachi, the mother of the universe, became so distressed, she forgot where she was. One day, as the lotus-eyed Lord was sitting at home, Mother Sachi began to speak to him with tears in her eyes. My dear son, do not leave. Do not leave your mother. This sinful person is surviving only by looking at your face. How will I survive without seeing your lotus eyes, your moon-like face, your reddish lips, your pearly teeth resembling kunda flowers, or your elephant-like gait? How will I survive without hearing your words and that shower nectar? Stay at home and happily perform Sankirtan in the company of your followers headed by Advaita and Srivas, your intimate companion Nityananda, and your dear friends like Gadadhar. You incarnate to preach religious principle, but what kind of religious principle it is to leave your mother? You are the personification of religious principle, yet you will leave your mother? How then will you teach religious principle in this world? Sachi was grief-stricken with love as she spoke. As Viswambar listened, his throat became choked and he was unable to answer. तुम्हारा अग्रजा अमा चाडिया चलीला वैकुंठे तुम्हारा बाप गमन करीला. Everybody left because his brother Viswambar left, Viswarup, and then father Jagannath Mishra left. So he's the only person who's there. That's what mother is crying. Your elder brother has left me. Your father has gone to Vaikuntha. Yet I forgot all grief by looking at your beautiful face. If you leave me, I will certainly die. My dear Gauranga, it is not proper for you to leave your widowed mother. Perform kirtan with the devotees in your own house. Nityananda is there to assist you. प्रेममयी दुई अंकी दीर्घ दुई भुजा देखी वचनते अमीय वरीशे वीणा दीपे घर मोर तोरा अंगीते उजोरा रंग पाया हता मधु वरीशे. I look at your two eyes filled with love, your two long arms, your words shower nectar. Without a lamp, my house is illuminated by the effulgence of your body. How much nectar emanates from your reddish lotus feet? As such, he became grief-stricken with love while speaking. Viswambara sat and listened. It appeared as though Kausalya was instructing Ramachandra. Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda bestow happiness and are always filled with ecstasy. Thus, Vrindavan Das sings their blissful glories. As the mother Sachi lamented in this way, the Lord neither raised his head nor spoke a word. Sachi became pale and appeared like skin and bones. She was overcome with lamentation and had stopped eating. Realizing that his mother would not survive, the Lord took her to a solitary place and spoke some confidential words to her, similar to the two incarnations now he's going to describe in pacifying his mother. The Lord said, "Oh, mother, pacify your mind. Hear how many lifetimes I have been your son. Hear attentively about your own glories. Sometimes in the past, your name was Prusni. At that time, you are my mother. Later, you are in heaven as Aditi. At that time, I incarnate as Vamana, and you are my mother. Later, you became Devavati. I again became your son as Kapila. Then you became Kausalya. Then I again became your son as Ramachandra. Then you became Devaki in Mathura, and you are locked up within the prison house of the demon Kamsa. At that time, you are also my mother. You are at the same Devaki, and I am your son. While inaugurating this Sankirtan movement, I will soon take two more births as your son." Now it is going to be describing that. The deity form of the Lord is made of substances like clay, while the name of the Lord consists of the sound vibration. So there are two incarnations of Sachinandana, the deity incarnation and the holy name incarnation. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 117, chapter 22 verse. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. In this age of Kali, the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is the incarnation of Lord Krishna. This is the statement of Gaura Sundar. The deity form of the Lord is non-different from the Lord himself and the holy names. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 17, 131, it is stated, Nama Vigraha Swarupa Tina Eka Rupa. Tine Veda Nahi Tina Chidananda Rupa. The Lord's holy name, his form, and his personality are all one and the same. There is no difference between them. Since all of them are absolute, they are all transcendentally blissful. Mora Archa Murti Mata Tumi Sei Dharani. Jihva Rupa Tumi Mata Namera Jarani. How she can accept the two forms has been described. In my form as the deity, you are my mother as the earth. Because deity has to be made with earth and stand deity is on the earth. Kept on the earth. In my form as the holy names, you are my mother as the tongue. In this way, you are my mother birth after birth. There is never any separation between you and me. I have sincerely disclosed this to you so that you should not feel any more grief. After the Lord spoke these most confidential topics, Sachi became somewhat pacified. This way we can understand. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Katwa after instructing this way, pacifying her mother. He pacified the devotees. We are never separated. If as long as you are chanting, Sankirtan will go on. So that I'm always there with you. As long as you chant the holy name, you worship my deity. For some of them, he gives the deity, like Gauridas Pandit. Lord personally gave his deity, own deity, to worship. Gadadhar Pandit also thought of Gopinath deity is there. So some of the cases, just like Lord Ramachandra has given his deity to Vibhishan, became later on Ranganatha deity. So like that, depending on the intensity of the devotee's devotion, so Lord has accordingly reciprocated. So then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Katwa, there he instructed the next day morning when Keshav Bharati, he told, I think this seems to be sannyas mantra received. Please check it, examine it yourself, and see if it is appropriate. Then he uttered murmured mantra in the ear of Keshav Bharati, and Keshav Bharati Maharaj has given that sannyas mantra to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he appropriate name he has given because he's bringing the consciousness, elevating the consciousness of people. He should be named Sri Krishna Chaitanya, even though he's coming to the case of Bharati. Our Sampradaya should not have the name Bharati or something else. Appropriate is Chaitanya, so that's how he gives Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts performing Sankirtan, Mukunda is singing, and then he gives a beautiful instruction, that is a famous instruction. He's giving that Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna, worship Krishna, chant the holy name of Krishna, Gao Krishna Nam, so Ara Kichunai. So don't do anything else but simply chant, worship Krishna, talk about Krishna, and chant the holy name of Krishna. Only do these three things. Ki siyane, ki bhojane, ki aharnisha chinta bolo. So three things. While sleeping, while waking up, while eating, always chant the holy names. That is the famous instruction Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs. So after sannyasa, this is the topmost instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's all his Leela, 48 years. So that we should take it very seriously. So that's why this Sravanotsav, this Kirtan also, Kirtan Mela, all these are there. Sravanam Kirtan is very important, and preaching, distributing the books and giving the glories of Krishna to others. So we'll read further that instruction and then we'll stop. So maybe we'll take one or two questions. Verse number. I will certainly take sannyas from him. The five persons you may tell are my mother, Gadadhar, Brahmananda Bharati, Sri Chandrasekhara Acharya, and Mukunda. The Lord said to Nityananda Swarup in private. No one else knew. The Lord passed that day joyfully engaged in Sankirtan along with Vaishnavas. After happily taking his noon meal, Lord went to see the Ganga in the evening. He offered obeisance to Ganga, sat on the bank for some time, and then returned home. Sri Gaurasundar then sat at home surrounded by his followers. The lotus-eyed Lord sat there with his limbs decorated with beautiful flower garland, scented sandalwood pulp. Then Lord gave each of them a garland from his neck and instructed them, sing the glories of Krishna. अपने गलारे माला सवारे दिया, आज्ञा करे प्रभु सबे, कृष्ण गाओ गिया. Even before he instructed, now he is giving the verse number 26, chapter 28, famous verse. Balo Krishna bhajo Krishna gao Krishna naam Krishna vinu keha kichu na bhavi ana. Glorify Krishna, worship Krishna, chant the names of Krishna. Do not think of anything other than Krishna. Big purport written by Bhakti Siddhanta Guru Thakur Goswami Prabhupada. यदि अमी प्रति स्नेह ताके सभाकार, तवे कृष्ण व्यतिरिक्त ना गईबे आर. If you have any affection for me, then don't speak about any topics other than Krishna. की सयने की भोजने किबा जागरणे, हर निश्चिंत कृष्ण बलह वदने. Whether you are sleeping, eating, or waking, day and night, think of Krishna and chant his name. This is the topmost famous sannyas instruction, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. यही मत शुभ दृष्टि करे सभाकार, उपदेश कही सभा बोले याओ गरे. In this way, the Lord cast his merciful glance on everyone who came, and after instructing them, he said, now go home. In this way, many people came and went. They floated in such ecstasy that they did not recognize one another. The beautiful body of the Lord, decorated with sandalwood pulp and flower garland, could not compare to a insignificant beauty of the full moon. After receiving the Lord's mercy, all people became ecstatic and left loudly chanting Hari Hari. At that time, pious Sridhar came there with the bottle gourd in his hand. Seeing the bottle gourd, Sri Gaurasundara asked him, where did you get that? Lord, however, thought, tomorrow I will leave there, therefore I will not be able to eat this. Yet, whatever is brought by Sridhara cannot be wasted. So I must eat it today. So Lord used everything, whatever has been received that day before sannyas. Thinking like this, to maintain his affection for his devotees, he requested his mother to cook the bottle gourd. At that time, one fortunate person came and offered a pot of milk. The Lord smiled and told his mother, this is very nice. This is Loki kheer. So, please cook this together. Mother Sachi immediately went to cook in great satisfaction. In this way, son of Sachi is so affectionate to his devotee. That is another instruction. Always loving exchanges Lord performed in all the Leela from the beginning to end. Sometimes maybe mocking as Nimai Pandit as scholarly, but still he was so affectionate with Gadadhar Pandit, Mukunda, and Murari, all his schoolmates, mockingly, but that's another scholastic pastimes. The Lord of Vaikuntha thus happily passed an evening in great ecstasy. After seeing everyone off, Lord Viswambar, the Lord of Tridasa, sat down to take his dinner. When he finished eating, Lord Gauranga washed his mouth and went to his bedroom. There he rested under the influence of Yoga Nidra or mystic sleep, while Gadadhar and Haridas slept nearby. The Lord woke for leave during the Brahma Muhurta. He understood that an auspicious time for his departure had come by observing the passage of air through his nose. Gadadhar and Haridas also woke. Gadadhar told the Lord, I will accompany you. The Lord, however, replied, I am fully independent, one without a second. This is my pastime. When Mother Sachi realized that it was time for the Lord to depart, she came and sat in the doorway. Seeing his mother, the Lord held her hands and solaced her in various ways. You have maintained me very nicely. Because of you, I have studied and learned. Without caring a bit for your personal happiness, you have increased my pleasure throughout my life. The amount of affection you have shown me at every moment is more than I can repay in millions of kalpas. Only by your mercy will I be relieved of my debt. Yet I will remain indebted to you life after life. Please listen, dear mother. This entire creation is under the control of Supreme Lord. No one has the power to be independent. Who can understand the Supreme Lord's will? By which living entity sometimes meet and sometimes separate. Whether I leave now or after 10 days, you should not lament. I take full responsibility for both your worldly and spiritual needs. Placing his hand on Mother Sachi's chest, Lord repeatedly solaced her, saying, Govinda, I will take full care of you. Mother Sachi quietly listened to what the Lord said. She made no reply but simply shed incessant tears. The Lord, who is the hero of Vaikuntha, thus left home to take sannyas for the deliverance of the fallen souls. Oh, brothers, listen to the story of Lord's acceptance of sannyas. By hearing this narration, all one's material bondage will be destroyed. सुनो सुनो अरे भाई प्रभु र संन्यास यही कथा सुनिले सर्व बंध हया नास प्रभु चलिले न माता सची जगन माता जड़ा प्राय रहीले न नाही स्पुरे कथा. And the Lord left The universal mother Sachi became almost inert, unable to speak. When the devotees took their morning bath, they were unaware of Lord's departure. On hearing about Lord's departure, all the devotees immediately fell unconscious to the ground. What lamentation the Vaishnavas felt, they all began to cry loudly in distress. They cried out, "Oh Gopinath, what a terrible night we have passed," as they held their heads and wept. Why has this thunderbolt suddenly struck? Speaking in this way, some of them rolled on the ground, some of them beating their chests. Lord's house was resounded with devotees' uncontrolled weeping. As they held their heads and beat their chests, they exclaimed, "Oh Hari, oh Lord Viswambar, you are left to take sannyas without telling us." The devotees were covered with dust. They cried. When they saw that the Lord's house was empty, they also began to cry. Even the offenders and atheists became aggrieved while hearing the people lament. "We are very sinful, therefore we could not recognize him." As they repented in this way, they also began to cry. This is another mission of the Lord, to give them mercy. The people of the town cried and rolled on the ground, lamenting, "We will not see his moonlight face again." Someone said, "Let us burn our homes and leave this place. We can become mendicant yogis, accept the sign of mendicant by wearing an ivory earring. When the Lord has left Navdeep, why should we continue living?" In this way, all the men and women of Nadia simply lamented. They could not think of anything else. After the crossing the Ganga, Gauranga arrived that day at Kantagnagar, Katwa. As instructed previously, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Gadadhar, Mukunda, Chandrasekhara, Acharya, Brahmananda, Bharati, each gradually arrived there. Along with his intimate associate, Lord, like a maddened lion, arrived there to meet Keshav Bharati. Upon seeing the Lord's wonderful bodily effulgence, the pious Keshav Bharati stood up. Lord fell flat, offering obeisances. Then, with folded hands, he offered prayers. "O Master, be merciful unto us, to me. You are the most compassionate, deliverer of the fallen." This is what we sing in Guru Vandana at the end translation. Our speech of Master is Ocean, mercy, friend of the poor, Lord and Master of the devotees, be merciful unto us, give us shade of your lotus feet. Same thing we see here from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord Krishna always sits in your heart, therefore you are qualified to give me Krishna, my life and soul. I have no desire other than the service of Krishna. Please instruct me accordingly. That's what he did. When he got first initiation also, he did the same thing. He circumambulated his spiritual master. He begged for his mercy, asked him to service. He tried to serve as best. And same thing he did during sannyas also. Keshav Bharati Maharaj, he served him, he circumambulated, he begged for his mercy. So, a lot to learn for us, for all of us. The Lord's body seemed to float in waves of ecstatic love. The Lord then began to dance and cry out loudly. Mukunda and other devotees began to sing as the son of Sachi danced in his own ecstatic mood. Millions and millions of people gathered there. No one knew where they have come from. While with unblinking eyes, they all continually drank the exquisite beauty of Lord's form. The indescribable, wonderful flow of tears from the Lord's eyes could not be described by even Lord Ananta. As the Lord danced in a circle, his tears bathed everyone gathered around him. Thus, soaked in the water of love of God, everyone, man, woman, young and old, all chanted Hari, Hari. One moment the Lord shivered, another moment he perspired, next moment he fell unconscious. All the people there became frightened on seeing the Lord fall to the ground. Then the Lord of the unlimited universes, in the mood of his own servant, took a straw between his teeth and begged everyone for the service of Lord Krishna. Wow, what an important instruction. Despite being non-different from Sri Vajendra Nandana, Sri Swayambrupa Krishna, the Lord of the 14 world, Lords most submissively, humbly prayed for the service of Krishna and the devotees for the purpose of teaching people. On seeing the Lord's humility, on hearing that he was about to take sannyas, everyone cried in grief. How will the mother survive? What a terrible night she might have passed. What pious activity has his wife performed to obtain him as her husband? And what misfortune has she lost him? How will his mother and wife survive? In this way, the ladies cried in distress. I have clearly understood that you are the spiritual master of the entire world. Therefore, no one is qualified to become your guru. And the devotion that I have seen today with my eyes is not found in anyone other than the Lord himself. Yet I think that to teach people in general, you will accept me as your guru. The Lord said, "Please do not deceive me. Give me initiation so that I may become a servant of Lord Krishna." Speaking in this way, the Lord passed the night with everyone engaged in the happiness of Krishna Katha. Early next morning, Lord of all planet rose and instructed Chandrasekhara, "You are qualified to perform Vedic rituals." On the order of the Lord, Chandrasekhara Acharya began to perform Vedic rituals. The variety of ingredients that people from the surrounding villages brought cannot be described. No one knew where the varieties of eatables that poured in came from. They brought milk, yogurt, butter, moong dal, betel, sandalwood, flowers, sacred threads, and cloth. Everyone who came chanted the holy names in ecstasy. Indeed, the chanting of Hari Hari was the only sound that could be heard. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, life of all, sat down to have his head shaved, including the Sikha. Everybody is supposed to have Sikha and garment thread after second initiation. When the barber came to save the Lord, the tumultuous sound by weeping arose. The barbers hesitated to shave the heads, shave the Lord's curly hair. Before even touched the Lord's head, he began to cry. That means he inundated with Krishna prema. With devotees headed by Nityananda all started weeping and rolling on the ground. What to speak of devotee? Even the people in general all began to cry in lamentation. Hidden from you, all the demigods also cried. In this way, the entire universe was filled with sound of crying. Such compassion was shown by Sri Gaurasundara that even dry wood and stone melted. This pastime of the Lord was displayed for the deliverance of the living entities, and everyone's weeping was evidence of this. Sri Gaurasundara was greatly agitated by the mellows of ecstatic love. He constantly shed tears and his body trembled. With that, we'll stop. Thank you very much for patiently listening. Beautiful narration. I'm not Bengali. I didn't have any tone. That such a beautiful verses. We should hear from some real Bengali devotee of these pastimes. Anyway, thank you very much. Please share any comments, any reflections you may have.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for very nicely narrated. So many pastime, and I really like that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pacifying when he was going to take sannyas, pacifying Sachi Mata, and he was saying like I am available in two forms, like deity's form and Harinam. So nice, very nice, Prabhuji. And we are so fortunate, like just 5,000 plus years back, only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was here, and we got this Harinam because of this, our parampara, our dear Srila Prabhupada. Very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Question or comment or reflection? Not will end with a quick announcement. Yeah, thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my observations. Very nice, Krishnavan Prabhu. Like you give the nice conversation between Mother Sachi and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because some devotee, the newly asked why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and why he did that, he the Lord, why he did this, why he left mother alone. So this conversation, very, very authentic, helpful to answer them.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank
you. Now last
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam. Anything from his wife explanation when he was taking a sannyas? We hear about Sachi Mata, but we did not hear about his wife. Any reflection on his wife when he's taking sannyas?
It is not mentioned here, but we know that so his second wife lived, Vishnu Priya Devi. So we remember correctly, 90 years, 85 or 90 years, something. So even after sannyas also. So yeah, so that's a different pastime of the Lord, what to do. So Lord has to leave. He has a important pastime to perform. So yeah, at least I don't see the description here. In a few other places it is there about Vishnu Priya Devi's intense attachment to the Lord. She definitely, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, going through said, I will go in different places, I will teach, and I will get some wealth after Jagannath Mishra passed away. So he solaced, and then his wife was so distraught. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. So at such a young age, he just got married, second marriage. So that time pastimes are there. Some conversation is there, but not at this time of sannyas, at least. So I have not seen it.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Madhupad Prabhu, anything on that you can share or anything you want to say? Any others? Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll end.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I heard in like Lal Govind Prabhuji's Katha, after leaving for the sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just left. So Vishnu Priya Mata, she was chanting Hari Nam continuously because she got one deities and she was chanting and putting like one round is done, one grain. And how much she was collecting in one day, that much only she was eating.
Correct.
Yeah, that much
Austere.
austerity she used to do.
Correct.
Yeah. Very young age, yeah.
Yes. That's what I heard as well. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Prabhupada ki jai. Please join for Sunday Fish program today evening, 5:30 to 9. March 30th is Gaur Purnima. March 9th, Sunday is Ekadasi, which is next Sunday. And then the next day is Govinda Dwadasi, Sri Madhavendra Puri's disappearance day, very famous day. Shantipur they celebrate, as Advaita Acharya has celebrated gorgeously. Lord has given the blessings. Anybody who takes prasad on that day, so worship. So then they get Govinda Prem and the Govinda Dwadasi, which is just before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So important day to remember. Sunday and Monday. Sunday is Ekadasi, Monday is the Dwadasi, Madhavendra Puri's disappearance day. You can offer kheer in remembrance of his at Kshirachal Gopinath, Madhavendra Puri's. Lord stole kheer for him on that
So
day.
we had to do fasting till noon, Prabhuji, on that day, full fasting?
Not called out, it is optional if anybody wants to do it, but it's not called out.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You can't, because Dwadasi means you have to break all the fast. If you want to do fasting, then we have to do day before until noon or something from Madhavendra Puri. Wow. Dwadasi always you have to break the fast. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
We'll distribute the books this week and next week. We have only 2 weeks left. Today and next Saturday, Sunday. If anybody is available, let us know. We'll be going later. So 1 to 3 or something today also. We plan to go. Let me know if anyone is available to distribute. As Gaur Purnima coming up, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, anybody want to take a set, please let us know. Please contact neighbors, friends, or somebody we know to distribute more Chaitanya Charitamrita sets within the next 10 days, 13 days we left. We'll have Siksha vows on the day, actual day, chanting of the holy name. Anybody who is not initiated yet, they all should take until the point of initiation. So that is the general process to get strength, to not miss around, not miss a day without chanting 16 rounds by the Lord's strength and Guru's strength, Sadhu's strength. So that's how we take that Siksha vows. Please give your names to your baby leaders or one of us so that you can take Siksha vows. It will be, time will be specified exactly, but it's 6:30 or 7 to 9, 9:30 is the program. So weekday, Thursday. So we'll be having Siksha vow probably a little later maybe so that everybody can participate. But we'll post those detailed timing, exact timing, when we'll do it. So those are the upcoming announcements. And next March 13th, 14th, 15th Saturday is Amarendra Prabhu's class will be there, 10 to 12, and Govindas afterwards at our temple. Then following week is Friday, Saturday, Sunday is His Grace Lal Govind Prabhu's Katha in the evening, which is March Yeah, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Those are 3 days. Please invite your friends and family, especially Hindi speaking, those who like to hear in Hindi, so they can take more relish this katha. Okay, those
The
are
Katha topic is Hanuman Ke Ram.
Hanuman ke Ram. Jai. Ram Katha then. Okay. Okay. We'll end here then. Vanchakalpataru.
Vanchakalpatarubhyas kripa sindhubhyo
Pavani Vaishnavi.
Vaishnavi Namo Namah.
Nantagad Vaishnavi ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Ram Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna Namanda Babali. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.